And hi there, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of work on our Seaward 26RK, the star of many of my movies over the summer. If you notice, there's a bunch of road on the deck. Basically, I have emptied out the anchor locker, specifically because this little plate right here caused us some grief over our Pacific adventures. And the grief is that this is a plate that goes inside the anchor locker that is supposed to keep the water going out into the drain, which is right over here. But instead, the issue that we ran into is that, as you can see by these little cutouts over here, there was some cables, and I think the water deck fill was in the way. And so basically there's these wide open spaces over here where if water comes in, it actually gets into the bilge. So I'm trying to avoid really hard not to get any water into the bilge, because the bilge on this boat in the front end does not connect to the bilge at the back end. And the only way to find out is to basically pull the cushions and see if there's any water in there. So the goal for today's exercise is going to be build a new plate. And we're going to build that plate out of fiberglass. So we're going to actually laminate some fiberglass up together, come up with a fiberglass sheet, and then we're going to cut a new shape out that's basically going to go all the way to the corners. And then I'm going to do a better job of shaping this so we can actually seal it up against the inside of the anchor locker, and hopefully prevent any water from entering from that direction. So, okay, good deal. Well, let's get to it. Awesome. So first things first, let's talk about a game plan. So I have a piece of melamine right here that has a nice smooth surface on it. So I'm actually going to use this as my kind of a flat mold. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a couple coats of carnauba wax on it to allow the fiberglass to release. And the plan is going to be, I have some white gel coat. So I'm going to basically paint gel coat over the top of the wax melamine. And then over here, I have basically a 1.5 ounce chopped strand fiberglass mat that we're going to do some progressive layers over it. So hopefully, after all said and done, we'll have a nice piece of fiberglass that's gel coated, which I don't think is really necessary. I'm doing it more as a test. And then we'll be able to come up with a pattern. We'll be able to cut it out, stick it in there, and life will be good. So really, first step is to go ahead and get this waxed. So we are able to start our process. I did put a fair amount of wax paper underneath this just to make sure that whatever I do epoxy-wise does not end up sticking to my workbench. Okay, so let's get going. Awesome. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put a couple coats of wax on this so that we have a nice release. So with our carnauba wax that we have here, so we'll just basically kind of go around. I'm not 100% certain how it's going to work out with regards to the fact this is melamine and the edges and if it's going to stick or not. Unfortunately, this is the only thing that's nice and smooth surface that I have here to work with. So we'll see. Good news is everything I have for this project I already have had previously, so there's no need to actually buy anything for me personally. So that's always nice. Then I think I'm going to also hit the edges here a little bit, just in case. I mean, you never know, right? So a little microfiber towel. Get this over here. So get kind of the wax off real quick. Okay, so before getting too carried away, especially with mixing gel coat and fiberglass resin, etc., it'd be good to actually get my stuff sorted out ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this fiberglass mat into the right sizes. That way, once I start getting everything mixed, we don't have this huge crisis to get everything cut out on time, etc., etc. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with 5 layers of this, 4 or 5 layers of this fiberglass mat. So that's the plan. So we're going to fold it out. See, what was the last time I cut this? So we have 1, 2, 3. And then we will go from there. So, okay. Now the best time to figure out how to cut this nice. And here we go. Okay, we got our strips, so let's go ahead and cut these into the right sizes. So, and we're just gonna roughly go with the location of the bands. Okay, so bad news. I had some white gel coat. It was toast. It was totally crystallized. And I had some basically neutral gel coat. It also was toast. It was also had crystallized. I'm not sure if we had just super hot summer and it just affected it. So I'm just going to continue without putting a gel coat base. Ultimately, this thing is going into anchor locker. It's really not going to ever see the light of day. So, and if I want to redo it, I have plenty of fiberglass and plenty of epoxy resin. So now I am using the West System Epoxy. This has definitely changed colors over the year. I've had this for a few years, and this tends to go red, but theoretically, it still works. So let's get a nice, healthy batch mixed up, and we'll go from there. Okie doke. Okay, so we'll just grab one of these sheets real quick so we can get a good idea of how much we need to laminate. So here's one. So we'll get, I'm just going to temporarily put this so I can get some on the ground first. How that goes, we'll get this first sheet on, and then we'll start getting it wetted down. Okey-doke. Got that. Just roll it down here, make sure we get any air bubbles out. And we'll get the next one going. And it looks like when we get the next one, we're going to have to get a little bit more material going too at the same time. A little bit more resin. Okay, so we got that one, and on comes the next one. Get some resin on. And then we'll go from there. Coke. And we'll do the same thing we did before. Now I'm thinking I may just put that peel ply on there regardless, just to give this a little bit of a better finish. Put this over the top real quick. Okay, so we have the peel ply on it. We'll go ahead and just start working its way into the whatchamacallit, the project. Basically what we're going to try and do is get a lot of the extra resin to go into the peel ply. That's kind of the thought here. Okay, so I think that's going to be okay for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my one tool before it all sets up. So, so we will come back and revisit this in a little bit. Awesome. So a day has gone past and we are ready to try popping this thing out, see how it's going to turn out. I've been a little anxious. This is, I said, a little bit of a kind of a experiment for me. So I think first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can pop the peel ply off. So we'll see how that works. So see it, how we can get it to come off the fiberglass. So let's have a look. What do we have here? So I'm a little afraid of the fact that we did get some of the fiberglass on the peel ply. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look how it comes off. Okay, so that's the peel ply. So it kind of gives it a nice uniform surface. So not too bad. Now the big trick is, will this release from the mold, right? So, and I suspect that it will, because this already has. So we're kind of basically, I'm just going to bend it over and see what happens. Oops.
Where are your safety goggles?
Wow. And it released. And that's our board of fiberglass right now. So nice. Yeah, not too bad. So definitely for the application we're going to use it for, which is to build one of these guys, it'll be perfect. So we'll just kind of, we can cut this out. If I really want to, I can grab a can of spray paint and we can paint it. Most likely wait a few to get the fiberglass amine blush to go away. So yeah, anyway, so pretty cool. So and just incredible how just this coat of wax was able to basically not stick to the fiberglass. So yeah, awesome. So the next step on this will be to cut it up into shape and put it in the front. And I said, we may or may not paint it, haven't decided yet. But I think it looks like about the right width also. So yeah, awesome. So voila, here is the finished product. I just ran through the table saw real quick, cleaned up the edges. So yeah, it looks really good. I like it. It actually turned out quite well. So yeah, good stuff. So yeah, so anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I'm not going to really get too carried away with shaping it because that's very specific to my boat, but I just wanted to at least do an episode where we actually made a sheet of fiberglass for some use. And yep, we know what the use is on our boat. So good deal. Well, again, if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you want to continue to get this kind of content, subscribe down below. Take care now. Bye-bye. This video, hit subscribe and give us a big like down below. Thanks for watching.